My name is James Burton and I'm the Chief Investigator of the CYCLE-HD study. We know that being more active can help reduce the risk of heart disease, as well as helping to control weight, reduce blood pressure and cholesterol, and improve mental health. For all those reasons, but especially because the risk of heart disease is so high, keeping active is particularly important for people on dialysis. Unfortunately, the reality is that taking regular exercise can be really difficult. By the time someone has travelled to and from the dialysis unit and spent 4 hours connected up to the dialysis machine, there's very little time to do anything else that day. And the fact is that this happens 3 times a week for most patients. One way to tackle this might be to offer patients the opportunity to take part in an exercise programme while they are actually connected to the dialysis machine. This could help make the most of the time that patients are present on the dialysis unit. It may also help them to build confidence overall as they are starting off in a setting that feels safe and supportive. So you might ask, why don't we just get on and offer a regular exercise programme to dialysis patients if we know that being more active has so many potential benefits? Well, the truth is that the dialysis treatment can actually be physically very tiring in itself. So is it really right to be asking the heart to work even harder by doing exercise at the same time? It was for these reasons that we set up the CYCLE-HD study, which was designed to show whether half an hour of cycling exercise during dialysis is good for patients' hearts and safe to undertake. And now my colleague Dr. Matthew Graham-Brown is going to take us through some of the cardiac work that we did at the Glenfield Hospital.
So as James has said, the CYCLE-HD study was primarily designed to assess whether cycling during dialysis led to improvements in the structure of the hearts of patients on dialysis. We did this by assessing patients' hearts before they entered the study and at the end of the study using a state-of-the-art MRI scanner. We know that the hearts of patients on dialysis tend to be larger with more scarring and stiffer blood vessels than patients not on dialysis, so we were investigating whether cycling during dialysis reduced these things. The scans took about 45 minutes to an hour, and then between an hour and a half to 2 hours to analyse. So it was a lot of work, but the patients did extremely well in the scanner, and the pictures we got were absolutely excellent. And this is what we found. Cycling during dialysis led to improvements in all the important changes in the patients' hearts that we were looking at. Their hearts reduced in size back towards normal, with less scarring and less stiffness of the major blood vessels, which is really great news, as we believe all of these things will lead to improvements in patients' health. But don't listen to me, let's hear what a patient had to say about it.
I have been a patient at the Leicester General Renal Unit now for 42 years. I started in 1977, had my first transplant in 1980. That lasted for 26 years. I returned to dialysis in 2006 and then was lucky enough to get my second transplant in 2017. As soon as I was asked, I thought, great idea. First of all, initially I thought anything to the time-wise when you're on dialysis is fantastic. But when I thought about the health benefits, it could only be good for my heart, make my legs stronger and help my muscles. So I almost immediately said yes. I really enjoyed the cycling programme from start to finish. Initially, I thought it may interfere with the kidney machine, but it doesn't. I could still talk to all the friends I had who were dialysing in the same room as me. And when I got home, after a short sleep, I felt benefit from it. And if anybody is offered the chance to do the trial, then I would say go for it, try it, and I'm sure you'll get the benefit from it.
Patients in the study cycle for 6 months using specially adapted bikes during their normal hemodialysis session. They cycled 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes during every session. They were allowed to cycle for longer if they wished. During each cycling session, people were asked to cycle to the level where they felt out of breath. This program was guided by participant feedback, and all of the sessions were supervised by the research team. We have shown that cycling during dialysis helps the heart of hemodialysis patients. However, this might still not be enough to make it available to all as part of normal clinical care. We did an assessment to see whether the cycling during dialysis might reduce the cost of patient care in other areas. We found that patients in the cycling group had fewer admissions to hospital, fewer GP appointments, and less medication costs for 6 months after the trial compared to the group who continued with their usual care. The results showed that there was a 73% chance of cycling during dialysis reducing healthcare costs after 6 months, and this rose to 90% chance of it reducing healthcare costs after 1 year. In other words, the benefits provided by a program of cycling during dialysis are worth the cost of paying for it. We are now going to look at ways in which we can implement cycling during dialysis as part of normal care for hemodialysis patients, so that all hemodialysis patients get an opportunity to take part in a program of exercise. Finally, we would like to say a big thank you to all the participants who took part in the Cycle HD trial.